Okay, today's lecture is over. 6-3, 6-4, 6-5, and then you're going to be doing the summary. I won't need to lecture over that because we've already covered it, right? So we'll be doing 6-3, 6-4, and 6-5. 6.3. The first thing I want you to do is to identify the part, the whole, the percent. Okay, think of it how we were doing the is over of equals percent over 100. The is the part. Of is the whole thing. Okay? So when you're identifying the different parts, like at first it gives you a part and a percent. You're putting the part where the is, percent up here, or the whole down here. So like number 1, it says the part is 5, the percent is 10. So it says you're not identifying it, you're putting it in the proportion. So the part is 5, put it where the is goes. Percent, put it up here over 100. The whole or the of goes down here. And I don't think you even have to solve it. Find the unknown, find the unknown value, Round to the 10th. Okay, so these, if you have to round, just do 2 numbers. Okay, 500 divided by 10 is what? 50, right? Divide by 10, it drops a 0. 50 over 1 is 50. Okay, what if the part is 20? Part and the percent is 25. Part goes up here, percent goes up here. So 20 times 100 divided by 25. Okay, divide by 25. That gets a 1 over item. 80. 25, 120. 200 is 8 quarters, right? So it's 80. 80 over 1 is 80. Okay. If there's anything after the decimal, if you have an answer that goes 72.36, you're rounding to the 10th. So go 2 numbers and look at that one to see if you round. Okay? It says round to the 10th. Okay, if it says a part and a whole. Yep, you can't see it anymore, huh? If it says the part is 15 and the whole is 60. Part and the whole, that's a 15, that's not an is. The whole is 60, so you don't know the percent. So that'd be 1,500 divided by 60. Okay? When you divide that, what do you get? $25, $250, what is it? 25%? Okay? So do it just like we were doing where we were putting is over of, but you put part over whole, percent over 100.
But not all of them you do like that, right? Just when they say part of?
Turn your book to page 413.
Okay.
413.
I've been doing those things.
Okay, so all of those you can plug it in. And this one is a percent, so you write percent after it. The other ones you just write the numbers. Okay, so just put it where it is in there. So this whole section, you can do that. Number 36 has a fraction on it, so let's check that one out. Number 36 says 410 pallets is 33 1/3% of 1230. Okay? Actually, oh, I didn't want you to solve it. I was going to help you solve it. It says just to put that into a proportion and you don't have to solve it, so that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Your percent, just put it on the top above 100. Here's your is, and here's your of. So just put it into the proportion is all it wants you to do. Okay? So look at your directions and see if it says to set it up or if it says to solve it. Because if you're solving it and you don't have to, you're doing extra work. Okay, 6.4, you're probably going to be doing a lot of solving there. Okay? 6.4, the problems start on page 425. Okay? You can solve these any way you want, but this is the easiest way to set it up and make sure you know exactly how to put everything. Percent problems, you can mostly all put into that right there. Let's see, number 1 says, this is 6.4. You're having to solve them. 35% of 120 test tubes. Not that it matters what you're doing a percent of, okay? So 35 is your percent, goes over 100. Of is 120. Is, you don't know, is what? So when you multiply these two, and then you divide by 100, nobody has a calculator handy, do they? Multiply 120 times 35, and then divide by 100.
42.
42 exactly? Okay, X is 42. Actually, since this says test tubes, it's 42 test tubes, right? 42 test tubes is 35% of 120 test tubes. Okay? So, go ahead and put what they are. It'll get you used to labeling, right? Number 5, 4% of 120 feet. What are you going to put here? 4, because that's the percent, goes over 100. Where are you going to put 120? Top or bottom? Bottom. It's is over of. This is the of. Multiply 4 times 120.
480.
480 divided by 100. 4.8. Okay? This is in feet, so it's 4.8, right? 4.8 feet. Because that said feet. Let me see. There's none of them here that ask for percents. Okay, just mostly setting up that same proportion over and over. On page 426, it starts asking for percent, so like 30 or 29. 18 bean burritos is what percent of 36 bean burritos?
18 over 36, X over 100.
18 over 36, X over 100. 1800 divided by 36. 50%. It's half of it, right? Make sure you put those with the percent. These put the label of what they are. This put the label of the percent. Okay? Let's look at page 428. Got some word problems there. Okay? According to the National Association of Realtors, 56% make down payments of less than 5%. So 56% don't do 5%, right? Make down payments of less than 5% of purchase price. If 2.6 million first-time buyers bought homes, find the percent who had down payments of 5% or more. The ones that had down payments, you do your 100% of all of your buyers minus 56% that did not. So, what is it, 44% did have the 5% or more. Make sense? Yeah? And then B, the number of buyers having down payments of less than 5%. Not the percent, the number. The percent was 56, right? That had less than 5%. So you're gonna have to do 56% of 2.6 million. Okay? And I'm gonna let you set it up and figure it out. But the B part, you're gonna do 56% of 2.6 million. And the answer will be in million, right? So many million people. It'll be 56% of that, about a little over half. Okay? On this bottom part, what percent brush their teeth before going to bed? Okay, going to bed without. See how this says they go to bed without brushing? What percent brush before they go to bed? Well, if this is 67 that don't brush, it would be 33%. 100 minus 67, right? What percent floss their teeth? Okay, this not flossing. This says this many do not floss, right? So how many floss? 100 minus 49, right? So 51%. How about, how many of the 3,400, because it says there is 3,400 total somewhere. Okay. How many of the 3,400 in the survey brush only once a day? Okay, brushing only once a day. Well, the 41% brush only once a day. So you're gonna do 41% of 3,400 total, right? So that's your percent, and that's your of. Okay, so it's not all just written out. You gotta find some of them in the word problems. Okay, there are more than 55,000 words in the dictionary, but most educated people can identify only 20,000 of those words. What percent of the words can be identified? Well, 20,000 can be identified. 21,000 is what percent of the total? So this is your is what percent of the total words, okay? And 58, let me get straighter here. About 61% of the 43 million people who receive Social Security benefits are paid with direct deposit to their bank. How many of the people receiving benefits are paid with direct deposit? Well, that many are, right? 61% get direct deposit. So 61% of that is how many people get direct deposit, right? So you have to translate some of these word problems into what percent of what is what, okay? You can't just set it up by putting your proportion. Write it out into a sentence. This percent of this is, and then put it into your proportion and solve it. Okay, on this one it says what percent of the ice cream purchases were private label or the other brands? You're going to add both of those together because you have private label and you have other. So just take those 2% and add them. That would be how many, what percent is that and that? Because that's a percent and that's a percent. Just add them together. Okay? 62, how many more people said they purchased Blue Bell than Ben and Jerry's? How many more people? Does that mean you're going to add or subtract? you're gonna subtract, right? If you wanna know how many more did something, you would subtract, you know. So how many more people? There's purchased Bluebell, then Ben and Jerry's. Here's Bluebell, Ben and Jerry's. So you have to subtract those percentages, okay? But that's your percent. Did it say what percent or did it say how many more people? It said people. So you subtract these to get the percent. 5.4 minus 4.5 is 0.9. 0.9% of all the people. Where does 1582 come from? By that many Americans. So that's how many people there were total. So you're gonna do 0.9% of the total 1582 people to get number 62, okay? Okay, how about what percent of the total hamburger sales were made by the two companies having the lowest sales? You gotta pick the lowest sales here. Hardee's is low, and then 12 would be the next low one, right? So you add the two lowest percents, and it wants percent, so you just have to add the two lowest ones, right? Okay. Find the total annual sales for Burger King. Burger King's 20%. 20% of what?
42 billion.
Yeah, McDonald's has nearly half of the $42 billion generated yearly. So 20% of the total sales, 42 billion. So you do 20% of 42 billion is the Burger King sales. Number 70, a family of 4 with an income of this spends 90% and saves the balance. Well, you don't know what the balance is, okay? A, find the monthly savings. Okay, if they spend 90%, how much are they saving?
10%.
10%. Where do you get that from?
Side of your paper.
Where do you get it from if you don't see it on the side of my paper?
90 minus 100.
100 minus 90.
Yeah.
90 from 100. So if they spend 90%, they're saving the other 10%. Okay, so A, the monthly savings, it's not just 10%, it's 10% of what?
Of 2,900?
Of the 2,900. 10% of the 2,900 is their savings. Okay? B, what is the annual savings? This is monthly, right? Monthly savings? So when you find that, what do you do to find the yearly savings, the annual?
Multiply by 12.
Times 12. That'll give you the yearly savings. Okay. Guess we might as well keep going. There's another one here you may need help with. The package label shows that there's 27 grams of carbohydrates in a serving of 9% recommended daily value. What is the recommended daily value? Well, 27 is 9% of the recommended daily value. 27 grams is 9% of the recommended daily value. So that's how you find daily value. Okay? Rest of the word problems you can check for yourself. Okay, that was 6.4. 6.5. It says using the percent equation. I don't care if you do it the way they want you to do it out of the book, or if you just keep doing the is over us. Okay? 6.5 wants you to do some more finding the percents of the wholes. What number 1 says 25% of 1080 blood donors. So you don't know is, right? Is what? Because it just said that, but you know the is would be like the answer. So you know the of, you know the percent, and you don't know the is. So multiply those and divide by that one. Same thing we've been doing over and over and over. So when you leave this class, you should be able to remember is over of. Is over of. It's alphabetical. I is on top, comes first, okay? Is over of, percent over 100. If nothing else, take the percent with you when you leave this class. Okay, that was 6.5, and I don't see any of the word problems that I have marked that you might need special help with, so. And after that's the summary exercises, which will be a little bit of everything. You know, it's going to be anything from 6.1 through, 1 and 2 that you just had homework over, or the stuff from today. So go ahead and start on your homework so you can go ahead and get done with it, and that way you can ask questions.